Welcome to Film in 5D, the show about everything film with the 5D Mark II. I'm your host, Aaron Hammock, and this time we have another Photoshop tutorial for you guys.
Another one?
Another one. I've kind of been using Photoshop a lot and learning a lot of stuff, so I figured, why not do it? I mean, before we had none, so now we have 3 in a row. So.
Oh, is that why you look kind of better than usual?
Yeah, I totally Photoshopped the video. So let's jump right into this tutorial. Last time I talked about adjustment layers and how they were great for non-destructive effects. In one of the methods, I showed you how to apply adjustment layers to individual layers using groups. While effective in a few situations, mostly just takes a longer amount of time. Recently, I figured out how to add adjustment layer editable effects to a single layer or group of layers. And you may or may not have seen this technique, but it's actually rather simple. So make an adjustment layer like you normally would. Position it over the layer you wish to affect. Right-click the adjustment layer and select Create Clipping Mask. When you do this, a downward arrow will appear next to your adjustment layer, symbolizing that only the layer or group of layers below will actually be affected. In order to have your adjustment layers affect a set of layers, like if you want to set the same white balance to a set of photos in your composition, create a group like I showed you last time and position it under the adjustment layer and create a clipping mask like before. Also, you might find yourself making several of the same adjustment layers, like curves or something, and you want to make slight adjustments for each layer. In this case, it's easier to duplicate your adjustment layers. Now, to do this, you can of course right-click the layer you wish to duplicate and select Duplicate Layer, but a program like Photoshop has so many shortcuts that you've probably never realized. Well, you can also duplicate layers more easily by just holding down the Option or Alt key and dragging the layer you wish to duplicate. In fact, next time you're using Photoshop, try clicking around with the Option or Alt key and you'll be amazed at how many shortcuts and workflow improvements you'll find using just that one key. Next, I want to show you another popular task that I like to do using adjustment layers, plus masks like I showed you last time. One of the first things you should do when touching up a portrait is to whiten up your subject's teeth ever so slightly. This can be done several ways. As you can see here, I use 3 different effects, each with their advantages and disadvantages. But for this lesson, I'll show you using the hue and saturation since I feel that's the easiest. So take your adjustment layer and turn down the saturation between -10 and -30. Then brighten it up a little bit until the teeth look white. For now, just eyeball it because you can always adjust these later after you adjust the mask. Once you have it close to what you want, invert the layer mask by pressing Command or Control I. This will make the layer 100% transparent. Then switch to your white brush and add the adjustment layer back to the teeth. Now, readjust your settings and even the opacity of your adjustment layer to make the teeth look realistically white. And that's it for this week. As always, if you have any questions, please send them to our Twitter page at Film5D or our Facebook page at this link here. We'll see you next time with a look at my gear.
Dude, hasn't it been like a year or something since your last video?
Not a year. My last video was last year,
Yeah.
but we all know that was only like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, come on. You don't like that little joke then?
No, I like that joke. Everybody makes that joke. Like in January, like that's the #1 joke. See you next year. Dude, I cannot freaking believe.
What?
Cannot believe that Ben Affleck did not get nominated for the Best Director at the Oscars. I mean, he won the Golden Globe and doesn't even get freaking nominated. Nor does Catherine Bigelow or Quentin Tarantino, who's also amazing. It's like the worst, like, directing... I don't know. It's the worst directing nominations of all time. Like, seriously. Spielberg's going to end up winning. Just because of freaking Daniel Day-Lewis, which Spielberg's my favorite, but come on. Those other 3 should have definitely been in there. I just can't believe it.